Turns out that now this particular individual is public enemy number one. Oh yes, as ever, let me explain. Hi, good to see you. You all right? Now it's interesting, isn't it, with Meghan Markle because, oh sorry, yeah, we'll have a wave. I know I'm slacking. You can tell me off, I can see this. Well, well, you can. Yeah, well, I don't mind. You can tell me off if I'm not doing as I'm told. Yes, we all have to listen, don't we? We all listen to our mums in the end, don't we? Whatever mum says, in the end you think, well, you're right, but you don't always want to admit it, do we? Let's be blunt. Absolutely. Now, it's nice to have your company. Now, when you think about it on a more serious note, Meghan Markle has done this to so many people so many times. You know the sort of thing I mean. A big event, particularly like Princess Catherine visiting a charity and making sure that that gets the recognition and notice it deserves. And I'll pop Meghan doing, of course, a paparazzi walk with the stress patches, or suddenly, just popping out of a restaurant with a friend, and, the sort of thing, quite spiteful, And when you think also, it's so obvious, isn't it? Because you can just see the jealousy seeping through, clearly thinking, if I do this, for instance, on Prince George's birthday, then this will get some headlines. But it's now depleting very much lower and lower each time she comes up with these stunts. What is interesting to note, though, now is this particular person, Josh Settler, in the eyes of the Sussexes, is now public enemy number one. Make no mistake about this. And this is all down to the fact that, as you saw, they recently released a missive out to People magazine saying this was a mutual agreement. Nothing mutual about it, 100%. It ended up in a screaming match, and one would hope that Mr. Settler would have defended himself well. I'm sure he tried his very best under the very trying circumstances, one might also point out. But again, here's where it gets really interesting, because basically now, obviously on the eve of their Colombian tour, the fake royal tour that they want to push so heavily, because quite frankly, nobody else offered anything. This was the only real tangible thing on the plate. And as I told you the other day, the royal family need to get a grip of this, because this is going to backfire on them spectacularly. Over here, we see it depleting the monarchy's image. There you have a former actress trolling around pretending to be a fake royal with Prince Harry like a handbag carrier hanging around in the background. Nobody wants that. It's not a good image for the royal family. But here's where it gets even more interesting, because insiders tell me that not only are Meghan and Harry furious at the way that this has just been leaked out, they were sort of blindsided by this, didn't really know it was going to result in him going. There was no mutual thing about it. He wanted out, as ever, we have to say, allegedly. Couldn't stand it, as one can imagine. If you've tried your very best and you think, well, I've put everything into this job, and you hope that people would appreciate it, well, that's the gig. Now, according to a source, clearly Mr. Settler could become very easily their new public enemy number one. And there are plenty, as you can imagine. When you skip through the 17 plus executives that have worked out at Archewell or for them over the period, you can understand how this is mounting up. What staff are really puzzled about, and this does puzzle me in many respects, is the fact that apparently Harry can't see it, or is blind to it, doesn't want to admit it, can't want to get involved, doesn't want to take anybody's side other than that of Meghan. So whatever happens next, I would wish Mr. Settler all the very best, because clearly Meghan and Harry think they're very powerful to suppress these stories coming out. Their power that might have happened is simply fading away, literally minute by minute. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.